Wesley Chi, WChi1 at yahoo.com. Signature story, take 2. And guilty as charged. I like to gamble, so I had to take a chance. I asked my friend Tracy if she was by any chance, were you a Delta Gamma? She replied, how did you know? I mean, I just had to laugh. The night prior, I was working as a craps dealer at a party at USC. It was sponsored by the Delta Gamma sorority. And to say that the girls there were attractive would be an understatement. And while chatting with one of the girls, I started inquiring about the sorority and who they were and what they were about. And she said, really, there's only 2 requirements for entry. One, they had to be pretty, and 2, they had to like to party. Well, from prior conversation with Tracy, I knew she went to USC. I knew she wasn't a sorority, and she definitely was pretty, and she definitely liked to party, so she fit the bill perfectly. Anyway, while growing up, her father showed his love by working very hard and by working very long hours. He was an attorney working his way up through the ranks and had a successful career and made a good income. The flip side of that is he didn't have the luxury of spending time with his daughter or even getting to know her. Eventually, Tracy grew to despise the money. It was a symbol of her father's neglect of her. And her father simply didn't understand that. His answer for everything was simply to throw more money at it. He worked in government politics, so you know where that came from. Anyway, Tracy naturally grew up to be spoiled. For instance, when she turned 16, he bought her a Volvo. After a month, she decided she didn't like it, so she traded in for a Mercedes. And after another month, she decided, I don't like this car either. Well, her father drew the line, so he thought. Undeterred, Tracy went out and intentionally totaled the Mercedes and ended up getting a new BMW in the process. Well, she goes to USC, joins a sorority, gets into the party and drug scene, and simply after USC wasn't able to get out of it. She turned to the dark side. And now, although she was actually a very talented painter and was highly intelligent, I mean, she just loved painting. She'd paint everything. She'd paint all the furniture, the floors, the cat. She even painted her cat. Can you believe it? Anyway, she became a different kind of artist. She became an alcoholic and a drug addict and a con artist. Well, not condoning her criminal behavior, her father cut off the money stream, which basically was their own relationship. And cutting that out, they no longer had anything to talk about. So they mutually chose not to talk to each other. Eventually, her luck ran out and she ended up behind bars. After contacting her father and overcoming some initial resistance, I finally convinced him to come out and visit her. He decided he would take some time off work and fly across the country to see her. The bad news is he only had time to come to her trial, so he wouldn't have any time to actually spend with her or talk with her. While visiting her in jail, it dawned on me, isn't your dad an attorney? Why don't you simply add him to your defense team? It worked! So her dad was able to sit next to her, talk to her, hold her hand. In fact, eventually, out of that, Tracy ended up going back home, moving in with her father, and she went back with a new view on life. She cut out the drugs, she cut out the alcohol, and basically that cleaned up the rest of her life as well. The inner beauty that I always saw in her came out to match her outer beauty. After that, her father told me, thank you, Wesley. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me back my daughter. Thank you for giving me a second chance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They say that the only certainty in life is death and taxes. That means you've got to gamble sometimes. Sometimes you have to take a chance on people. Sometimes you win.